growing up in a religious home where I'm in church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every opportunity that I have, I even wanted to be a preacher at one point and share the message of God. And then I'm fighting these feelings that I have inside and I don't know where they're coming from. I constantly felt the pressure to hide. My father was extremely abusive towards my mother. There were a lot of moments where he would call me a pussy. He constantly was watching every little thing that I did and trying to correct me so that I didn't appear to be feminine or gay. I have 3 sisters, one older, 2 younger. My father showed my mother that he was somewhat jealous of the relationship between a mother and her children, and I think that's when my mother started to pull back. She always said that first comes God, then comes her husband, and then comes her children. So my parents started to realize that things were kind of off. I was constantly on my phone, and I was showering one day. I left my phone in my room. My mother went and grabbed my phone, took it to my father, and my father started to read the text messages between the guy that I was dating at the time and I. I went back to my room. I went to go look for my phone. I couldn't find it. I panicked, and my mother came into the room and she said, your father wants to talk to you. And I immediately knew, this is it. So I went into the room and my father was laying on his bed and he said, I want to know who it is that you're talking to. And I said, it's just a friend. And he said, well, it doesn't seem like he's just a friend. This conversation seems a little more intimate than that. And I said, I promise you, it's just a friend. It's nothing more. And he says, you're lying to me. And he gets up. I start to back out of the room, and he comes towards me and he says, I need you to tell me the truth. And I need you to tell me the truth now. Are you gay? And I said, no, I promise I'm not gay. And he goes, I'm only gonna ask you one more time. And while he's saying that, he's getting angrier and angrier. He throws my phone to the floor, breaks it. As soon as I'm responding, he gets his hand and he backhands me in the side of my face. I go to the floor, I'm unconscious for like a split second. And that was a moment where I'm like, I need to get out of this situation. I need to call the cops because this isn't gonna get any better. My mother didn't say anything with fear that he was gonna come after her. It's still very hard to go through life without your mother there to comfort you when times get really tough. It's something that I've struggled with for a very long time, with hopes that one day she would see a light and just say, I'm missing out. I hope for that every single day. I hope for that one day where she picks up the phone and she calls me and she says, I love you and I would just want to talk to you. After that situation where my father backhanded me, in my head, I felt like I needed to be fixed as well. And I said, I know what you can do. I know how you can help me. I said, you need to move me somewhere different where I can make new friends, I can start all over, and I can change who I am. I promise you I can do this. They said, well, we're gonna think about it, and they sent me away to Mexico on vacation with my grandparents. For 2 weeks, no phone, no way of contacting the guy that I had been dating. I couldn't contact anyone. And I came back home, my bags were packed, and I got into the car and they moved me to San Antonio, Texas, which was about 4 hours away. I came back after the semester was over. So for the summer, I came home. I obviously didn't change. And my parents pretty much asked me again, are you gonna change? Like, are you gonna become someone different? Obviously, this life isn't working for you, is what they said to me. And it's just gonna go downhill from here. And I said, this is who I am. Like, I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing wrong with me. And my father started fighting with me, chased me out of the house, and I ended up going and staying with a friend. And I ended up meeting my trafficker online that day. I think it's important that people realize that being trafficked has nothing to do with sexuality, has nothing to do with male or female. It has everything to do with vulnerability and the fact that I was a child, you know, is what was important there. When I started to realize that it wasn't just me, and I started to see that he was doing this to other people, I realized that I needed to get out and I needed to figure out a way out. And I literally just left. This was a very hard time in my life. And I didn't even realize that what I was going through was mostly because of the absence of my parents. I thought, oh, it's what this guy just did to me. I was focused on those situations, but I came home. I remember trying to speak to my mother about what had happened to me and let her know. And my mother turned to me and she looked at me and she said, I don't want to know what you went through, but I want you to know that everything that you went through happened because you wanted it. You chose to be gay. You chose to live this life. Now, whatever you went through is because of you. And that was a moment where I was like, I'm alone. I'm alone from here on out. I don't even have my own blood to be there for me and to support me. I hope that like one day they can realize that I don't hate them and that all I've ever wanted was a relationship with them, a genuine relationship. And I want them to know that I'm not here to hurt anyone. That was never my intention. All I ever wanted was to be myself and to be loved. I am who I am, and I'm so comfortable in my own skin, and I'm so happy with the life that I have now. I have no reason to change who I am, even if it is for my mother. I'm happy now. But it'd be nice to hear, I'm proud of you. You've come a long ways. You've gotten out of these situations on your own, and there's strength in that. And just hearing it from your mother is completely different. I hear it every day from other people, but there's nothing like your mother saying those words to you. I think right now, in this moment, in this time in my life, feeling like there's a message that I need to share and people that I need to help, that gives me the strength to keep going.